Okay, good evening, everybody. It's good evening my time. Good afternoon, good morning from wherever you're joining from. My name is Tina Okonkwo, and I'm super excited to be hosting and also speaking at today's webinar. Yesterday, we had a webinar where Toby actually took us through acing the DataCamp certification. If you've not seen that, we're going to be releasing the recording sometime this week. So it's going to be available on our YouTube channel. You might want to check that out during the week. So today we're going to be talking about building a data portfolio, especially for entry level data professionals. So the focus is going to be on entry level data professionals. Who are entry level data professionals? People looking to land their first entry level job, or data end users that are actually interested in actually pursuing a career in data. This would also be beneficial for them as well. So I would like you to give me a second to just get my slides up, and then we'll kickstart the session. Please give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Good. Also, I would like to employ everyone. If you know persons that are supposed to be on this call, or persons that this session would actually be beneficial for, and they are not here, you might want to share the link to this call to them so that they can join in. Just like I mentioned earlier, today we're talking about building a portfolio, and the focus is on entry level data professionals, people looking to land their first job, people to looking to land an internship, or probably you're just seeking for scholarship opportunities and things like that. Those are going to be our focus. Okay. So I'm going to do a brief intro about myself, for the benefit of those that might just be hearing about me or coming across me for the very first time. My name is Tina Okonkwo, and I'm a data analyst. I've actually been helping businesses solve problems with their data. I have over 2 years experience in this field. I also teach courses on Power BI, data visualization, as well as storytelling with data. For me, my goal is to actually help others kickstart their career in data analytics, and this I've done via mentoring people, sharing resources, and also organizing sessions such as this. Just as I mentioned earlier, throughout my career, I've worked on various data projects, and I've been helping organizations make data-driven decisions. Today, I'm going to be sharing insights and tips that would help you build a robust data portfolio, and that can help you stand out in the job market. And you can connect with me on Twitter, Rita_Tina, and on LinkedIn, I'm Tina Okonkwo. I'll be making the slides available by the end of the session, or probably when I'm sharing on YouTube. So please be on the lookout for that. So today, basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be looking at what exactly a data portfolio is, why you should build one, and some of the things that you need to include in your data portfolio. And also, we're also going to be looking at choosing the right projects for your data portfolio. Then we're going to be looking at project ideas for different industries. And I'm also going to be walking you through some portfolio sites that I make use of. So the first thing, what exactly is a data portfolio? Now, I like to see it as a collection of your work or your projects that actually showcase your data skills and also your experience. Okay, so when we talk about your data portfolio, it's just um, a well-crafted something like a portfolio that contains your skills, your projects, and also your abilities. It serves as a tangible proof of your expertise and also help differentiate you from other candidates. Now, according to recent studies, recruiters and managers highly value portfolios as as they provide a clear picture of your practical experiences. In short, a strong portfolio can significantly boost your career prospect. So it just demonstrates your ability to find, clean, analyze, and visually present your data. Now, you might ask, why exactly are we building a data portfolio? Just like I mentioned earlier, it gives you an edge in job applications. It differentiates you, right? So it gives you an edge in when you're applying for jobs, because aside from seeing your resume, they can also see your portfolio. Something I like to say is that resumes would sort of tell, right, that this is what you can do, but your portfolio will show them what you can do on how good you are with that particular thing. Another thing that you need to know is that your data portfolio provides tangible proof of your experience, right? It serves as a tangible proof because they can actually see what you can do. So it serves as tangible proof of your experience. It helps demonstrate that you are actually experienced in using this tool or that tool. It can also help you land your dream job in data. It can help you get internships and also scholarships. Some things you need to know when building a portfolio. What are those things that you need to include in your data your data portfolio? Number one thing, an introduction. You need to be able to highlight exactly who you are, what you do, and what you want your recruiter to know about you. An example of an introduction should be something like, okay, my name is Tina Okonkwo. I'm passionate about data storytelling and data visualization, and my skill set, or I'm skilled in the use of Python, SQL, Power BI. Just a brief overview. I'm just telling them that this is my name, this is what I do. I'm a data analyst, and these are the tools I know how to work with. Then you should also include your projects. What are projects? We are going to see this in depth, right? Because your portfolio is a collection of your projects. So you want to highlight your best projects and with short descriptions. And when I mean short description, you're basically saying like, okay, this is the problem I'm trying to solve here, right? And a dashboard or probably a description that is showing you that this is what I intend to do, or probably your code base, right? That's telling you that this is how I solved this particular problem. So it's highlighting your best project and it's showing this with short descriptions and visuals. Also, your portfolio needs to highlight your skills. So regardless of the fact that you're having projects, you want to have projects across different tools sets. I'm going to speak from a data analyst point of view now. If you know how to use Excel, if you know how to use SQL, and you know how to use Power BI, for example, you want to have projects that highlight or demonstrate these skills and proficiencies, right? You want to have an Excel project, you want to have a project that shows you writing queries, and you want to have another project that shows you writing visualization, doing visualization. You also want to put your contact information. What do I mean by contact information? Some persons are not okay with sharing their phone number, but they are okay with sharing their email. So your email is good to go. You might want to put your email somewhere on that portfolio so that it is easy for potential employers or clients to reach out to you. Also, you want to link your portfolio with things such as your LinkedIn and your GitHub and other professional profiles that you think that demonstrate your abilities as a data professional. You want to add all this to your portfolio. So those are the things that you need to include in your portfolio: your introduction, projects, your best projects, skills, contact informations, as well as skills. So these are the things that you need to include in your data portfolio. Now that we know what exactly you need to include in your portfolio, let's talk about choosing the right projects for your portfolio. I think this is very, very important, and this is where we are going to be spending the most of our time today, because I see most persons, they'll tell you that, okay, they've built a portfolio and everything, and but still they are not getting job offers, or they are not getting people reach out to them. So first thing first, right? When you want to build your portfolio, you need to be intentional, very, very intentional. You want to choose projects that actually align with industry demand. What do I mean by industry demand? For example, you want to be very strategic when you're building a portfolio, in the sense that, okay, there are several industries where you are targeting, right? Like, for example, probably you want to work in the bank, or you want to work with let me use a food delivery service company, for example. If I want to work with something like a child deck, or if you are somewhere around the US or this thing, probably DoorDash or something like that, a food delivery service company, I want to choose projects that actually highlight skills and technologies in demand within that industry. For example, I'm going to want to work on a project relating to that particular industry. For example, I might do something that is highlighting, like optimizing delivery routes in an in that organization, or I source for the data set. I'll look for a data set that has to do with, sourcing for food delivery data, analyze this data, and profile my recommendation. So something I will tell you in this part is research job posting and industry trends industry trends to identify these areas, and also sort of choose projects that reflect the skills and technology that is in demand in these areas. Another thing is you want to choose projects that reflect the skills and technologies in demand within your target industry. So you don't want to, I've talked about this, right? You don't want to just go ahead and pick a particular tool set, probably like Looker, for example. I'm not saying that you won't see jobs that require Looker, for example, but you want to pick tools such as Power BI or Tableau that are in great demand amongst organizations, right? You want to pick tools such as this and build projects, go from your data cleaning to your analysis, your visualization, and up onto whatever you are doing with that particular data. And you want to make sure that you are showing diverse skills. And like I said, you want to make sure that you include projects that demonstrate a variety of skills. Now let's talk about choosing industry projects, right? Project idea for different industries. I'm going to talk about some of the popular ones that we know. For example, retail industry, right? This is not basically focused on just like a data career path, for example, like a data analysis career path, or a data science career path, for example. Now, as a data analyst, for example, you want to work on maybe you're targeting the retail industry, for example, and you want to predict customer churn, like you want to do an analysis that has to do with customer churn. You're going to source for that data. Probably you're sourcing for the data on Kaggle or several others. I've linked some in this slides that you can take a link, and I will show you some of those sites where you can get ideas for customer data, right? And you're doing something based on customer churn. You've tried, like, you've done your data cleaning, probably in Excel or all that, and you take it to Power BI to do visualization and everything. Now, if I'm a company that I'm interested, that I'm working on a problem or a scenario that has to do with customer churn in an organization, and I see that project, I'll be sort of interested, right? Because this is a problem I'm trying to solve in this organization, and somebody has done a project relating to predicting customer churn. I can take this particular project, or I can reach out to that person that, okay, how do you do something like this? Okay, I'm looking for you to come to our organization to actually apply this thing. So these are some example of problem solving projects, or reward projects, reward problems that you can add on your portfolio. So it doesn't make your it doesn't just make your portfolio relatable, it makes your portfolio it shows that you can apply your skill to practical situations. That is what it shows, right? Because I'm already facing a problem of customer churn, for example, in my organization, or in my supermarket, for example. I'm facing a problem where I don't know where to place my products, and I know that every time somebody orders these products, they order another particular product. Maybe when they order book, they order pen, right? And instead of like a situation where you know that people are ordering those two things at the same time, you place those projects, there's something that you place those products side by side. There's something called optimizing product placement. So you analyze the data relating to this. Now, if a supermarket is seeing something like this, that, oh, somebody has worked on something like this, they are already inclined to reach out to you to find out exactly what project idea. And don't just do a project, document this project. You want to document the project. Now, how do you document the project? You can use sites such as GitHub. You can also use sites such as Medium to actually document this project. That would actually help you on how you can exactly how you would showcase this project to your portfolio, and you want to emphasize on the result. Now, here's something I see a lot of people doing. People build dashboards, people do visualizations, but something they don't do is what exactly is the result or the impact of your project. Okay, yes, I know this is a dummy, you worked on a dummy data set, but you want to quantify your outcomes in every way possible. Oh, if this was a real life, this is something that this would have done, or this is something that this project would have done. And you honestly want to make sure that your portfolio is updated. All right, so you want to regularly update your portfolio with new projects. That is, if you are still looking for opportunities. This shows that you are actually learning continuously, and it keeps your portfolio relevant by fresh and relevant. And like I explained, you can decide to if you are targeting a particular industry, you can select a particular project based on that industry. Say, for example, I'm targeting the finance industry. Something I would do is probably fraud detection, right? I will analyze transactional data. And if you go to places like Kaggle, you would see data on this, or better still, AI is there to help us. You can basically put in whatever you need in ChatGPT or in Gemini, for example, and it's going to give you options. And we're going to see or demonstrate some examples of that. Something you want to look at is like, for example, if I'm targeting the finance industry, I want to go for a fraud detection project, for example. I'm going to analyze transactional data to sort of like identify patterns or indicate fraudulent patterns that indicate fraudulent activities. Now, an organization or a bank or a fintech that is looking to solve this problem, for example, would probably see that project and be interested in that project, or interested in me, and they are reaching out to me. There's something I told somebody over the weekend, that it's sweeter when these organizations reach out to you than you are the one even reaching out to them. But if you have a project, like a portfolio to show, you can do something we call cold emailing, where you are sending this recruiter an image with your project that, okay, this is the problem that I try to solve with this particular project, and this is something that it has done for me. So I'm going to show you some example of some portfolios that are very, very great, that I've seen that actually great, that you can use to structure your own in that way. Another example, another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT to generate project ideas, and also source for the data set that would sort of like give you an idea on how to, you know, structure your portfolio. Before we talk about some portfolio sites, okay, maybe I can talk about portfolio sites before I show you the examples. So when we talk about building portfolio, there's a place where you can like put all of your portfolio together. And if you go on YouTube, you're going to see like examples on how to use this site to build your portfolio. We have Wix, which is like the most popular and probably maybe the easiest, right? So Wix gives you some sort of templates that you can use to build your portfolio. I'm going to show you an example of how Wix looks when you finish building your portfolio. Then there's also card.co. So with Card, you can build a one-page portfolio, add in all your projects and all of that. There's also GitHub and GitHub Pages. Now, GitHub is very, very great for data scientists that are looking, and even data engineers, right, that are looking to explore their coding skills, show their coding skills, and even their SQL queries and all of that. So you can use this to actually display your this thing. And then some of my favorites that I like so much is Maven Analytics. And Maven Analytics is because Maven Analytics will give you like a case study, right? They sort of simulate real life experience, real world experience, what you're facing in the real world experience. Something like they're telling you that, oh, you're a BI analyst, this is for my analyst or for my data analyst people right now. They're telling you you're an analyst, you're a BI analyst, or you're a data analyst for an organization. How do you solve this and this and this? That is where your Maven Analytics come into play. But if you're a data scientist or a data engineer, you want to go for your GitHub or your DataCamp portfolio most times. Okay, so I'm going to show us an example of some of these websites and some of the things I've listed in the or the things that you need to know when building a portfolio. So I'm going to share my screen again so that we can see good. Now I'm going to start with my own. Now this is an example of a GitHub pages. Just like I mentioned, right? Your portfolio, first of all, needs to have like an introduction. And if you see here, I've highlighted that I'm a mathematics, I'm somebody with a math, I'm a data analyst, but I'm somebody with a mathematics background. And these are the things I'm passionate about. And these are the skills that I know how to use. Something I also did was highlight like my projects, okay? The first project I've highlighted is something that has to do with Python. And in this project, I kind of like put in what problem I was trying to, so what I did there, and also what tools that I used to actually accomplish that particular project. But my project has a title. So you already know that if you as a recruiter, you're looking at this portfolio, you already know that, okay, this person is actually very good with Python, or this person has skills with Python. Please confirm you can still see my screen. I want to be sure. Just give me a thumbs up if you can still see my screen. Okay, great. All right. So the recruiter can confirm that, okay, this person is good with Python, and this person can also build a dashboard using Power BI, because I've highlighted that, and I've also dropped like a dashboard that I created. Something else I've done is some of my prediction projects, right? So if you have some sort of like prediction model that you've built, or probably a data visualization project that you've placed somewhere, you can also highlight that in your portfolio. Now, something you realize in my portfolio is I have my Medium link and my GitHub link added to my portfolio. So a recruiter can come and click on this Medium, and it takes them directly to my Medium link that has all the articles of my project. Also, GitHub will take them to my GitHub profile that has information about my GitHub. There's also my Twitter, LinkedIn, and GitHub again linked to my distance. Something else that you will notice is below I've also linked like some sort of contact details. So if they're looking to contact me and or reach out to me, they can also do that. Now that is that about GitHub pages. This is an example of how GitHub pages look. So if you're using GitHub pages, this is how there are other templates, right? It's a templated form of portfolio that you can just use to, you know, recreate and build your own. That is how GitHub portfolio is. I'm going to be sharing links at the end of this session on some sites where you can build this portfolio that gives you help in building this portfolio. I think for mine, I use Alex the Analyst to put this together. Another example is your Wix, right? Now, if you look at this, just like I mentioned earlier, there's also an introduction. You already know who this person is, right? The person is a data analyst and a chemical engineer. And is what are the tools that the person can use? Excel, SQL, Python, Power BI, and Tableau. You can already see that. There's also a face to sort of like the name, right? So you can see some very clear information. You can also see links to the person's resume, projects, and also a contact. So if I want to contact this person, I can easily click on contact and it takes me to the person's profile. Okay, so that is something you need to know. So having a portfolio is very important. Now, if I click on projects, it just takes me to whatever projects that this person have worked on, right? So it's very easy to see, okay, so there's something on this project session that probably interests you. You can just click on it and go to that particular project to read more about it. So these are example. This is an example of a Wix site. If you're hosting your project, and just like your GitHub pages, there are also videos that help you build from scratch. It's a templated kind of website. So it's not like you're giving a web developer or anything to come and build a website for you. Then there's the one that would probably interest the data engineers and the data analyst. Even though as a data engineer or a data scientist, I feel like having a one-page portfolio is very important, like your GitHub or your GitHub or your GitHub most especially, right? Now, one thing you need to know is when you're hosting on a site like GitHub, most times is basically your code. Now, this is an example of somebody's GitHub profile. GitHub is just github.com. If you want to learn more about GitHub, I can also, I would also attach a link on how you can, structure your profile or structure your portfolio on GitHub. Now, if you look at this particular channel, right, it contains what she does, right? She's her name, what she does, and if you go straight down, you're going to see some of the skills, her skills or things that she can use, right? So you can also see a blog, that's a Medium channel, and also like a data stack. So some of the things that you can also see there are featured blog posts. So this is an example of you hosting your portfolio on GitHub, for example. Now let's talk about card.co. That is also another one-page portfolio, and it's similar to some of the examples I gave earlier, right? Like having your it's also a template like this. You just have to go to card.co and structure this. So what are the things that you need to do? Now, if I'm looking at this, I can already tell that, oh, this person is a data analyst. She knows how to use Excel, SQL, Python. So you need to highlight those tools that you know how to use. Then include your social media profile or profile that people can easily, a contact list that people can easily reach out to you. So these are some of the things that you want to include in your data portfolio. I know you're going to have a lot of questions, so I'm going to be taking a break now to get your questions. Then after taking questions, we can continue the session. So please, if you have questions, I would like to take a break and take questions now. If you have questions, please just raise up your hand. Okay, good. Okay, somebody's hand is up. I don't know who that is. Adebayo. Okay, I saw Adebayo's hand first. I think so. Adebayo, you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thanks for having this session with us. My question basically is, is it possible now, we have different industry and different markets for jobs. So is it possible to have multiple portfolios that one can push out for a particular industry one wants to target in the verge of looking for job? That's what I'm saying, because it has been happening that some portfolio, just like we review CV for every job we want to apply for. So that's what I'm trying to say. Thank you. That's my question.
All right. So I'm going to answer your question briefly or in this way right now. Here's the thing. When it comes to portfolio building, your portfolio sort of like highlights. There are some projects I've worked on as a data professional that I don't have in my portfolio because I'm not very confident about them. Your portfolio should highlight like important projects. Now, if you believe that there are projects on that particular on your portfolio that would actually showcase you to that industry, good and fine. You can link your portfolio to that particular industry. You can also decide if you have time enough to structure your portfolio, because under a food delivery service, I give an instance of a food delivery service, right? Under a food delivery service, there are plenty business questions you might want to answer with a particular data set, and you might want to have portfolio showcasing or a single portfolio that is showcasing different problem statement on that particular industry, probably optimizing food delivery routes, optimizing or increasing like maybe doing something on marketing campaign, doing something on customer churn, doing like a lot of other topics, right? But because you don't want to start choosing different industries, just better or creating new portfolio every time. Most times it's just better to collect all these things to a particular place, which is why that one-page portfolio is there, right? For you to actually make use of to actually build your data portfolio. Does this answer your question? I don't know if this answer your question.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, okay, yeah, it does.
Afsat, your hand is up. Can you go ahead and ask your question?
Good evening, Ma.
Good evening.
I have two questions. The first one is, these sites, are they free or not?
Okay.
And for DataCamp, if you build your portfolio on DataCamp and at the end of the scholarship, period, would you still be able to access your portfolio if it's on DataCamp? Thank you.
Good. Very important questions. Now, if you build your portfolio on all these sites, they have a free version and a paid version, right? Now, if you want to personalize your portfolio site such that you want it to answer, I'm going to use my name. For instance, I want it to answer tinaokonkwo.com. Now, I'm going to have to go for the paid version. I'm definitely going to pay for it. But if you want it to, if you look at this site that I gave an instance of, for example, I want to share my entire screen so that everybody's seeing what I'm explaining. So now if you look at this site, you can see there's something that looks like okonkwoebuka.wixsite.com. So most of these sites, you can see this wofaieyong.card.co, right? So if you use the free version, that is exactly what you are going to get. You're going to get like the site name gets added to your name, but if you wanted to answer your name and your free and your like .com or a personalized website, you'd have to go for the paid version. And by the way, even after your your portfolio website is still available on DataCamp. I hope that answers your question. Any other questions for any other question from anybody before we go ahead, before we proceed? Okay. I'll take Cynthia now. Cynthia, please go ahead with your question. You can unmute your mic and speak.
Hi, Tina. Good evening, everybody.
Hi, good evening.
So, I wanted to ask for someone whose proficiency is just limited to Power BI. Is it ideal for the person to just work on projects just within Power BI?
Here's the thing, right? When it comes to data, I always tell people that no matter the tool you learn or no matter the tool you know how to use, is actually useful because, like we always say, it's not about the tool, but about the problem you're trying to solve, right? You might be lucky enough to go to an organization where the only tool they work with is Power BI. But most times we always advise people, you want to be a data analyst. What are the things you need to do to become a data analyst? You need to learn Excel, SQL, one visualization tool, so Power BI or Tableau, then a programming tool such as Python or R, right? So since you know that these are the tools that you need to become a data analyst, it's just important that you are proficient in this, or you know, at least know how to use this tool. You might decide to become proficient in Power BI and then decide to focus on just the whole Power BI thing. But it's very important that you know all this. But it's also very okay if the only tool that you know how to use is Power BI and you have your portfolio surrounded about Power BI. You are probably targeting you have your target market, right? Which is the Power BI market, and you're looking for, or you are targeting people that are looking for people good with Power BI to come and help them analyze their data. So I hope that answers your question. Okay, I don't know if Cynthia is still on the call. We have Akinwale. Akinwale, your hand is up, so you can go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Thanks for this session. Please, I want to ask the portfolio of a thing from the examples that you showed, it's looking like a website. So if I want to create my own, do I have to get the service of a web developer or web designer, or I have to learn it before I can create my own?
Good.
I'm
That's
just
a very
wondering.
important question.
Okay.
All right. So I mentioned something, right? That this website, if you can just mute while I answer the question. So I mentioned something that these websites are template based, right? For example, I'm going to share my screen and then I'll probably go to wis.com so we can see how these websites look. Because of how short this session is going to be, we're not going to go into how to build a portfolio's website. But like I said, I'm going to be sharing resources on how you can build most of this portfolio website. And what this remember, portfolio is just a collection of your projects. And why this is very important is because it helps showcase all the projects that you have. Okay, so it helps showcase all of your projects. That is why we're doing this. Now, if I go to wix.com, for example, you can see it's telling me create a website without limits. So it's for everybody, regardless of the fact that you don't know how to develop, you're not a web developer or not, you can create a one-page portfolio. All you need to do is probably maybe watch one or two videos on YouTube that would, one of my best ones is for Wix is Tina Wang. She has a video explaining how to create your Wix portfolio from scratch to end. Then for GitHub pages, one of my favorites is Alex the Analyst. He has a video that will take you through building your portfolio from scratch to this. And what you're just doing is highlight all your projects. But I don't want us to focus on the portfolio side, because what your portfolio is supposed to be rich. What do I mean rich? It has to have quality projects. You don't just want to target an industry. For example, I gave instance of a food. If I want to work for, we're going to look at that anyways after I take some of the questions. I'll take one last question, then I'll show you how to get project ideas for various industries before we take more questions. So I don't know if this answers your question. So you can build this website by yourself. You don't need the to employ the help of a web developer or a front end or a back end, whatever, or a software engineer per se. I hope this answers your question.
Yes, thank you.
All right. I'm going to take Adepoju Adewale now, and then maybe take Adebayo. That's okay. Adebayo is up. Adepoju. All right. Go ahead with your question. Okay, there's also Rachel.
Hello?
Yeah, please go ahead. I can hear you.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you for this session. In fact, it's really insightful, and I think I'm very sure it will be helpful. My question is, there was a time I tried building a portfolio with I think Google site or so.
Okay.
Yeah, so but then I was trying to just make it rough. So I sent it to some of my guys that are proficient, like that are senior, that are analysts, and some of them were telling me that this thing I build is for some maybe a recruiter to be checking page by page, looking for where my project is stuff, because I build it as one for home page, the other page for I think for projects, then the other page for maybe the skills or something. So they were telling me that pattern is not good. So, but looking through what you have said now, is I'm a kind of, is it with those templates, will it be that as in like how do I put, like we'll say user friendly, or maybe there's a way one can tune or maybe coin everything together and get the best for recruiter
Okay.
to see?
All right. So now here's the thing, right? And this is very advisable, especially for people that are sort of confused, like what projects to this thing. Some way I like to go, like the route I like to go, first of all, is I look for sites that already have sort of guided projects that are already telling me what to do and stuff like that. And one of my favorites is actually Data Camp. Now, if you go to Data Camp, for example, they have projects, right, where they've already listed. So most times they're just asking you the question, like, and you can also make use of their hints to sort of like check, okay, what exactly am I supposed to do? Now, if you follow that route, right, it will give you a full. There's one project on my portfolio right now. It's one of the SQL projects that I attempted on Data Camp, and I added that to my portfolio. So what this would help you do, it sort of gives you like questions to answer, and like there's already a topic, right, surrounding that particular project. So all you just need to do is probably answer those questions, and then you can, copy that and link that to your portfolio. And that is why I mentioned I added Data Camp portfolio. That it's very, very easy, because you're just linking all these things. These are the things that you have done, right? So this would help you if you're somebody that probably you're confused, you don't even know how to attempt projects, you don't know how to start a project, for example. You can go on Data Camp, right? Just pick out one of these projects and sort of analyze the data, answer the questions there, and add this to your portfolio. Another place you can check is Maven Analytics. They also have portfolio, like those are for people that want to probably work outside a workspace, or they have privilege to work outside a workspace. You want to go there, check those projects, their case study that simulates real life experience, right? You want to check those examples and also use that to build your portfolio. Does that answer your question? And I hope this helps. Oh, Nathaniel is on the call. So I don't know, Nathaniel, if you can hear me, I would like to bring you up now so you can just say a couple of things. Hi, Nathaniel. Just for a background, Nathaniel is the social impact manager at Data Camp, and it's such a privilege to have him on the call today. So please, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. Hi, Tina. Hi, everybody. So glad to have such an amazing turnout on the weekend. I am finishing up some work myself, so I figured I might as well just hop on and say hello. Tina, you're doing such a great job sharing all this information. I wanted to talk a little bit about DataCamp portfolios and just add a few other details there. Yeah, I would say definitely get started with your portfolio journey using DataCamp portfolio, because it's free and totally included. Another thing to mention is you might assume that you can only put DataCamp stuff on your DataCamp portfolio, but that's actually not true. You can put external links on there, links to GitHub projects, other certifications you've gotten outside of DataCamp. It really is designed to be a full service portfolio for you. And you can customize which projects you want to showcase. And again, it doesn't have to be DataCamp ones. So I just want to, that's why I think DataCamp portfolio is maybe the best way to kind of get started, wrap your head around, what are the things that I want to showcase about myself? How do I want to present this information? There's also space on that portfolio at the bottom to put in, a full resume and an education experience. And then you should be able to share that out publicly for anyone to see. And then after that, if you find that, you want some more, you want to customize it a bit more, you want to have your own website, then yeah, definitely see if you can expand and upgrade to something like Wix or another option. But definitely want to encourage everybody on the call to play around with the DataCamp portfolio. And as I said, it's platform agnostic. Obviously, DataCamp content will look great on there, but any other content, any other projects that you're really proud of that you've made, any dashboards, right? You can link directly to, for example, like a public Tableau dashboard if you want to, right from there. Not only that, we just launched a new competition today, which asks you to complete a DataCamp portfolio. Winners, it's a sweepstakes. Winners will be chosen at random, not a huge prize or anything, but just a little fun incentive to complete your portfolio. And Tina will share the link to that competition at some point later on the call.
Thank you so much, Nathaniel, for sharing. So there's actually a freebie. I'm going to share that sometime. I want everybody to stick around to the end of the call. So we'll be sharing that information. I think about $25 gift card or thereabouts. Well, it's actually a very brilliant. See, take it from me. I know very, very good the benefits of winning a DataCamp challenge and the exposure that it gives you. Okay. I'm going to take Wurola now. Wurola, you can ask your question and then we'll probably go into more details on how to get projects for your portfolio before we proceed.
Okay, thank you very much for this insightful section. So I have two questions.
Okay.
So concerning the projects we are going to work on, are we to search for data sets online, like from sites like Kaggle, etc.? Because, Kaggle is like the most popular site. Yes, I know you said DataCamp, but somebody like me, I don't really know how to navigate this thing. I've never used DataCamp before. So like, is Kaggle okay, or Kaggle is too popular, or the projects there have maybe casted or something? Then my second question is, if I want to work on my portfolio, do I have to pick a niche? Like, let's say I want to focus on just sales and financial projects, or just earth-related projects. So that's my question.
All right. Thank you for asking the question. First of all, it's a first time I'm hearing that DataCamp is actually very difficult to navigate, because for me, I always tell people that I feel like that's like the simplest platform where you can, learn data from. So it's actually very, very straightforward. And why I mentioned DataCamp was because the data set is there. Your workspace is there. You don't need to leave that environment. Everything is just there. You just have you write your code, you write your queries, and everything is on that particular platform, right? The data set is there. You don't need to go and start looking for data. You don't need to go and start looking for questions. You don't need to go and start looking for ideas. One of my favorite stuff is even the DataCamp competitions, because it gives you like some level. If you go through like past winners, if you go through their notebooks, you see how solid looking it is, and you can also implement that in your own notebook. Now, that aside, right, now when it comes to when you want to start building your portfolio, you want to start working on projects, I don't advise people to focus on a particular industry. It's very good to like sort of like explore, right? Even if maybe you're very much interested in sales and you want that to be your last bus stop, it's very okay to sort of like, because you're looking for the opportunity, and if you just want probably an internship, or you want an organization to give you like give you an opportunity, right? So something you can do is sort of like look through what are the most popular industries in this place. I would say sales, e-commerce, finance, and then probably, this is not limited though, but these are some of the probably healthcare, right? These are some of like the most popular industries we'll see in this field where people do analysis. And also, disclaimer, but I'm not a fan favorite of Kaggle data, because most times I feel like their data are either overused, or I'm not just a fan of Kaggle data, especially
Exactly.
as a data analyst. For data
Yes.
scientists, it might be great for them. But as a data analyst, I'm not a fan, because we end up building dashboards, and most time the kind of data you find on Kaggle is always numerical, right? We want to deal with a lot of categorical data as well that would actually showcase our skills, that we know how to, dig deep in between the data and stuff like that. So sites I like to use when it comes to like looking for doing data analysis, when I move from DataCamp, I move to Maven Analytics, and then I look at Enterprise DNA. These are some of the platforms that I like to look at when it comes to like looking for data that shows.
Maven
Yes.
Analytics, right?
Maven Analytics, yes.
Analytics, okay.
Yes.
The third
if you
one.
go to this site, the third one is Enterprise DNA.
Okay.
If you go to this site, you'll probably see, I'm going to share these resources after the session anyways. If you go to this site, you'll see like business challenges or business questions that have been outlined there for you to actually use to answer data. So don't focus on a particular industry, right? And that will lead me to the next thing I want to talk about. So I'm sorry, we have like 30 minutes to go. I'm still going to be giving time to take questions, but I just want to show us one last thing before we go back into taking questions. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again and just walk us through a ChatGPT process on how you can generate business questions and also generate like project ideas in case you want to work from scratch. Okay, now if I go to my once I go to my ChatGPT, right? We all know how to go. I'm sure every data professional should know how to go to ChatGPT, or should have used ChatGPT at one point in time. Something I always do is to sort of like, I would just sort of like tell ChatGPT to maybe something I like to do is give me a business, or give me a project idea. Let's say I'm targeting PiggyVest as a company, for example, and I know that PiggyVest is a savings and investment company, right? So I might say, give me a data analysis project idea. Give me a data analysis project idea.
I can't see your screen.
Can every other person see my screen? Because I think my
screen.
Yes.
Okay.
I think maybe it's our network.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it now. Thank you.
All right. So I would say, give me a data analysis project idea, or give me data analysis project ideas, right? So that it's not limited to one, on a savings and investments industry. Now it's going to give me some sort of like project ideas I can do, and it will list it out. Now I can look through all these options, right, that it has given me, and try to maybe even copy one and just tell it, maybe I can copy this customer segmentation, right? What are some questions I can, or I would first ask it, where can I source for the data? And then I can now ask it again that, what are some questions I can answer based on this? If I want to do, let's say I want to do number one, right, which is customer segmentation projects. I can ask, where can I source for these data? And then the next thing I want to do again is also suggest business questions I can answer with this data. Something I always like to do though, instead of asking this also suggest business, because sometimes the questions it will suggest, my data will not be able to answer those questions. So something I always do is, after telling it to give me where to source for the data, and I probably go and download the data, I'll just copy the column names, right, and paste it back to you. And based on these column names, suggest business questions that I can actually answer. And if I feed this into this thing, it's going to tell me what data sources I need, right? Or what kind of data I need. Tell me where I'm going to find that data. Like, I can keep prompting and prompting and prompting, and it would even, excuse me, and it's going to offer me a link right? You can see that's giving me some business questions that I can answer. Who are the high value customers and what are their characteristics? What are common traits of customer who invest in high risk and low risk products? So many other questions that is going to provide for you. That is how to use ChatGPT to position your portfolio for real world case scenario, because these are real world problems. There are organizations that are actually facing this problem. Another thing I've learned to do is I like to talk to senior colleagues, right? I always ask them, like, sort of, okay, what are the challenges that you are facing in your company with data? What are those data challenges you pass, or what are you doing in your company? I try to listen to them, see what they are using data, the problem they are using data to solve, try to source for a dummy data, or even ask ChatGPT to generate a data. Or if you are good with Python, there's a way you can tell Python to generate fake data for you, and try to analyze data based on that particular thing and position myself if there's an opportunity in that person's organization, or even share that project. They look at what I've been able to come up with, and they already have piqued their interest. Whenever there's an opportunity anywhere, they would always remember me, right? That I'll be fair, but I'm prepared because I've done that project and I've put them in my portfolio, or I've organized all these things somewhere. So these are some of the things that you can do that can actually help you build your portfolio. Now, down to the main business of the event before we take questions, right? Just like Narania mentioned, DataCamp is giving out, there's like a competition where DataCamp is giving out about, I think, 100 gift cards, or they're worth $25. So this is something that piques your interest. For me, I'm even a big fan of competitions. Here's why. Competitions, sort of, especially when it has to do with organizations that are international, right? They sort of place you on a, like, people can see you, right? If you Google my name and add DataCamp, there are a lot of things that will come up because I've done a couple of competition, DataCamp competitions where I won money. So your name is just in that international phase. I like to participate in competitions a lot. There are a lot of data competitions you can participate in, and you can also add in your data portfolio. So if this piques your interest, this is something you might be looking to join, right? And it's actually the DataCamp summer camp challenge, right? I'm going to be sharing this link in our community, and also be sharing it on my social media profile, so that those that are currently not in the DataCamp community, they can also have this access to. And what do you need to do? You just need to earn 10,000 SP, which is actually my favorite. I love earning SP a lot. If you use DataCamp, this is actually like, it's sweet, because most times it helps you, just like, you just want to keep going back, doing all those practice scenarios, or doing projects where you can earn as much as 1,500 SP, right? You want to do that, and then you want to complete your data portfolio. And to complete your data portfolio on DataCamp, things you need to do is add your education, add some of your projects, also highlight your skills and everything. So I'm going to be sharing this link later on. I think I can even post that in our on the chat box to this particular call, right? Like I mentioned, there are 100 gift cards up for grabs. So I like to see Nigerian names on DataCamp, this thing, like when DataCamp is doing the competition, because it rouses international people, because they don't believe that we can study. I always tell people that you don't know how it is for us, and that is why we give it our all, right? So please, if this piques your interest, I think it's something you might want to do. Now, SP is what you gain when you learn on DataCamp. It's sort of like a reward for learning. If you complete a course, you get SP. If you complete a project, you get SP. That is what SP is for DataCamp. All right. So it is not for people that have gone far in data analysis. Even beginners can, but this is a level ground now, because what you just need to do is, you can read through the rules, right? I've dropped the link. What you need to do is earn 10,000 SPs, okay, and then complete your data portfolio. So it's not basically for people that have gone far in data. Even if you are just starting to learn, you're even on the you have edge more than others. Because for me now, I won't lie for you, I can't remember the last time I gained SP, because I'm not necessarily learning every day, okay? But for you, you are learning every day, so you have the opportunity to actually gain SP. So I'm going to be taking further questions, portfolio, on this challenge, and every other thing, okay? I think Adebayo, your hand is up, so I'm going to take you first, and then I'll take Mandla Okay, Adebayo, your hand is down. So Mandla, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Hello. Yeah, actually, my hand is still up. Can you hear me, Rita?
Okay, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, the moment you called me, I just had to drop my hand.
Oh, okay. All right. Please go ahead.
Actually, you've answered one of the questions I intend asking in terms of, because I was having a kind of feeling before this session that because, for example, Alex, the analyst project, he had a walkthrough project. So I've been feeling like, okay, replicating his project and putting it on the portfolio, that is it a good idea? So I think you mentioned some of it. Is it? And I wouldn't mind if you can just shed more light on it.
I like more on that.
Yeah, because a lot of people do that walkthrough project, and how does it feel people replicating the same projects on portfolios, knowing that a lot of people have done something similar? And that's one. Number two, the data camp challenge, to be precise. Is it a one? Because I hardly see their challenge except if you post it. Is there a particular way to be informed about how data camp bring out their challenge? Because I only come to know about their challenge when you post it. That's all I want to say, basically.
Okay,
So
all right. So I would answer the first question first, and the first one is on replicating projects. So here's the thing: as data beginners, data analysts, data scientists, the best route or the fastest way to grow is by replicating projects. I'm not going to lie for you, but here's the thing about replicating projects. I always like people who put some bit of intentionality when they are replicating project. What do I mean by intentionality? Like, try to personalize that project. Yes, unless the analysts have projects, I can assure you that 1,000 persons have replicated that project. But what is the unique? And also, a recruiter might have seen that project thousands of times. Now, what's the uniqueness that you're bringing to that project that a recruiter will see and be interested and be like, oh, I didn't see it in the previous ones that I've done, right? So I always do not advise for your portfolio building, things you want to show to recruiter. I always tell people that let it be original, something you built from scratch. That you can tell them that, okay, this is what I did in this project, right? I brought the data, or I went to get the data from Kaggle, or I got the data from the Maven Analytics site. I analyzed the data and I was able to get insights from the data. This is something that would interest your recruiter, rather than saying that, oh, I replicated this data from somewhere. Do you see the difference between both of them? Now, for seeing challenges, right? So I would advise you to follow DataCamp social media pages, because they always post this challenge. Most times I see them on their social media. So you can just check a DataCamp on LinkedIn, a DataCamp on Twitter. So if you follow them, you likely see these challenges come across your timeline from time to time. And then you want to explore their competitions side on the DataCamp side. So if you go to DataCamp, you see competition. So you might also want to explore that angle. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
All right.
Hope their competition is not strictly for those that are enrolled in a kind of scholarship, or
okay. So I'm not very certain now, but I would assume that you should have a DataCamp subscription for you to use there, for you to access their this thing. But I'll check that and I'll probably revert. So I'll check that. I'm not very certain if you need to be this thing. So I'll check that and probably revert. Yeah. So David Ebuka, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Hi David, if you can hear me, just unmute your mic and ask your question, because we can't hear you. Okay, any other question from anybody? Let me check the chats if there are questions. Yes, you will be getting the recording. It's going to be uploaded on our YouTube channel. I'm going to share the link to that YouTube channel, so you can always listen. Very soon the Data Community Africa is going to be open to everybody, so everybody can join that community on WhatsApp, and I would definitely post it on my page when that is actually live. Somebody's hand is up or was up as well. I'm not sure. Please, if you have questions, any questions at all relating to portfolio building and all that, or data related, please ask your questions. We have less than 15 minutes to go, or probably even less than that. Any other questions? Or probably in my explanation, I might have gone through all the questions. Is that it? Nobody has question on using ChatGPT, or we're all familiar with this? Okay, Sharon, your hand is up. Please ask your question.
Okay, thank you so much for the class. Really insightful. I just want to ask about the chat GPT. Initially, I was going to ask about if we could get the recording, but since you said that it's going to be uploaded on the YouTube, I also want to ask the chat GPT, is it the free version you are using, or is
Yes,
it like the paid?
I'm using the free version. I'm using the free version actually. I'm using the free version. So this is the free version.
Okay. Okay, all right. Please, what exactly is the name of the chat GPT? Because there are so
Yeah, I
much.
know. This is ChatGPT 4. No, sorry, not 4, 3.5 rather. I'll check my, let me just go there again, but I think it's 3.5. Yeah, it's 3.5. It's not GPT-4 that I'm using, because I'm not using this is my personal account. I hope that answers your question, Sharon.
Okay, yes, it does. Thank you so much.
All right. Meg, you can unmute your mic and ask your question.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. I was following, but I would just like to clarify what exactly the documentation process is like the Medium links. Are they just to explain like the project alone, or there can be more to them?
All right, so I'm going to share an example of a project I built, or even someone else. Okay, I'll share probably two before we proceed. I was going to talk about that. Skip my mind. Thank you for calling my attention. So I'm going to share my screen again and sort of show how I structure my projects after working on them, right, in terms of article. And I'm going to be using one of my very popular projects, which is the sentiment analysis project that I had worked on. And then I'll show one somebody's own on, I think, weather conditions or thereabouts. Good. I'm certain everybody can see my screen here. Now, when you want to structure your project, now Medium is not the only place. There's also, what's the name of that place? I think Ashnode. There's Ashnode, there's dev.to that you can also write your articles, right? But I always prefer Medium because I think it's sort of like easy to understand for me. So that's why I use Medium to put this, and almost everybody is very familiar with Medium as well. So the very first thing you want to put is, like, you can see if you go to medium.com, you're going to see this right here. Now, peradventure, I want to start a new project or start writing a new article, I will do my write, right? The first thing you want to do, number one, we all became writers because we wanted to show our work. So it's not like I was a writer or I know how to write, right? So what I did was I looked at other people's own projects on Medium. How did they structure it? So that is what I'm telling you to do. Look at other people's own. How did they structure it? Now, the first thing I did here was to put the title, because that is what I saw, right? The title of whatever I'm trying to show. Then I just got this image that sort of like show probably image of the project, just to put some like make it interesting somewhat. So it's not very compulsory, but like if you want to add spice to your project, right? Then I added some sort of introduction where I talked about like the particular use case. So in this place, you want to put some sort of executive summary. If I was doing something on a food delivery service company, for example, now I would probably be talking about how food service delivery company is very popular, but there are problems with optimizing routes or optimizing delivery process, right? Then the next thing I would now talk about the analysis. What exactly was my objective? The objective of this analysis was to show Twitter's perception of the Real Housewife of Lagos show, right? So you might want to put your the objective of your analysis, right? And what are the questions that you look to answer? So you can list them out. Like, okay, some of the questions I looked to answer with this project was finding out this, and that. You're putting that's your about. So you're just following these things, but you're replacing it with your own project. I'm sure everybody can see my screen, right? Please don't give me a thumbs up. Okay, good. All right. So the next thing you want to do is probably, this is not very important, but you can also include this, right? A use case. who can use this project. Somebody looking to, maybe a company looking to, gauge their social media presence, or also look at customer sentiments about their product and stuff like that. That is who we use this particular product. So you are doing something on customer churn. You can put it, oh, this can be used by a company facing churn problems, or they are losing customers and they're looking to manage their manage customer churn or things like that, right? You want to, excuse me, you want to look at that. The next thing is you're explaining your data analysis process, what you did. You gathered the data. Where did you get the data from? Oh, I got the data from Kaggle, or oh, I scraped the data from this website. Then what did you do next? I did some data assessment and cleaning. I changed the data type. I removed duplicates. I did this. I did that. I changed location data. Like, just explain all the things you did in your, this is something like you're trying to show your recruiter that you understand what you've done, or this is what, so that they know that, okay, you actually did this particular project by yourself. Do you understand? Now, the next thing you want to do is what? Like, after telling them what you did in your data cleaning, right? You might include pictures of some of the steps you took. Then you now want to go into like, okay, my data preprocessing step, maybe, or my data transformation. I added this column, I calculated this column and added it. I created new calculated columns. I created measures to calculate the total sales, or to calculate the distance from here. Just things like that. You're just explaining those calculations. That is in your analysis phase, right? So analysis will take all that. Then the next thing is you're putting maybe key insights, some of the things you realize. Okay, I realized that this and this was this thing, this and this. Like, you're putting all your insights. This is what I got. The top selling, the customer generating the most revenue is this customer. This one is this. You put all your insights. Then you might want to link a full dashboard. Please kindly mute. You might want to link your full dashboard below, and then also give some sort of recommendations, right? Aside from all of the insights you got from your data, you want to just add recommendations that, okay, based on this is what the organization can do, this is what the organization cannot do, this is what you would provide, and then that is it. You cannot link probably where you have that dashboard. Maybe it's your Power BI service, or anywhere that you have that this thing that you want people to play around with, you link it there. That is an example. Now let me even move from this one that has to do with Python to something that somebody used Power BI from scratch to finish to do, right? So let me look at this one. I'm going to click on this one that has this impact of weather conditions. So I'm going to click on the blog where but this is also even a blog, right? On his GitHub, he has a README file that has everything about the project. Introduction, which is what I explained, right? How exactly is this thing? And it tells us what this particular project is trying to do. It uses something about this to do this, right? And then this is the background study where I said executive summary. I'm just telling us about like what exactly is the challenge that this business is facing, or what made you to actually start looking at this project. Then where did you get the data from? You highlight that is your data gathering. Then the next thing is you want to look at your data assessment and cleaning. These are the things I did. I did this in the cleaning. I did this. I did that and that. That is what you want to put, and put this in. Then you move to your exploratory data analysis phase. In my exploratory data analysis phase, these are the questions I try to answer, and some of the results are this. Then I built a dashboard using Power BI, and this is the Power BI dashboard that I built. I've linked it here, right? And then the last thing is what? A recommendation that contains like recommendations from the insights. Now, this is for data analysts. If you're a data scientist, for example, what you want to do is, it's still the same process. I would have probably gotten a data scientist this thing too. So I'll show you. There's one, I would actually link some of my favorites. There's actually a data scientist portfolio of someone I know that's actually very great. So you're just following the same route. For a data scientist, for example, you are building a fraud detection model. That is what you are doing. So you are following the same process. This is the fraud detection model I've built. This is how you can use it. So you're just following that same process. So this is how you can actually write articles to structure your project on Medium. I hope this answers your question, Meg.
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
All right. We have more questions. Okay. On Udemy from Maven, there are lots of case studies there. Can I also include them in your? Okay, so David left a question. I I got a course on Excel pivot table and Power BI on Udemy from Maven Analytics and Chris Dotson. There are lots of case studies there. Can I also include them on my portfolio? Yes, you can include them on your portfolio, but just like I mentioned earlier, you need to be able to personalize this thing, because you don't know your maybe Chris Dotson is even your recruiter, and then he's seeing that you just recreated his work and you didn't do anything interesting to add to the project, right? You want to be able to personalize these projects in a way that will make it more believable than you saying, oh, okay, because you don't want to, it's not your project, right? It's somebody else's project that you recreated. So you don't want to tell your recruiter that, oh, I recreated this project from a course that I took. You want to be able to tell them that, oh, I built this project, I got the data here, did this, did that, and did that. It shows you, it gives you more credibility than just you saying that you recreated a project. Okay, I hope that answers your question. So I'm going to take Joshua now. Joshua Korede, please unmute your mic and answer and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Rita. I just want to ask, so what's the difference between documenting my project on GitHub as to Medium?
As to Medium, okay. So now there's no difference. Let me tell you what the difference. Okay, there's actually a difference, but there's no difference because you are still writing what you write probably on Medium or GitHub. But why people always have a Medium account is because most non-technical people, most people that will look at your portfolio or look at your profile would be technical people, and that's why we always tell people to build a portfolio site, right? Would be non-technical people like your HR, technical recruiters. They're not data analysts, they're not data scientists, they are HRs, right? It's easy for them to click on Medium and go to Medium than to click on GitHub to go and check because GitHub is like a new environment for them, but almost everybody's familiar with Medium, so it's easier for them to read your article on Medium than to read on GitHub. Another thing why I like Medium is that sometimes Medium pushes your article to, like when people just search something relating to data science or data analytics, or your profile or your article that you've written will come up. I've seen people give a lot of reviews how they got opportunities from Medium, right? Even myself, I'm a witness. Just by my Medium article, I've seen people reaching out to me for me to do something for them based on what they've read on my Medium. So Medium sort of pushes your articles to people that would see rather than GitHub, right? That's why most times I always prefer to use Medium to write. I hope this answers your question, Joshua.
Thank you.
Okay. Fire Kemi Ajayi. I hope I mentioned your name correctly. Please omit your mic and ask your question.
All right, thank you very much. There is this question I would love to ask. You know, are you linking your interactive dashboard with your portfolio? You know, we have some companies that their policy, you know, their privacy policy does not permit you just put out their work like that, and I don't know. So how do we go about that?
Now, in cases like this, you don't want to put that work out there. Data is a very private thing, and I always tell people to be very careful. You don't want a situation whereby an organization is suing you for data privacy issues, right? So something I always do, if I've worked on something really interesting that I can't show you the picture or the dashboard or the interactivity and everything, what I just like to do is, what are the things I did in that dashboard, right? Probably I helped them solve a problem of customer churn. I would include that in my CV or somewhere in my portfolio, that I just have a write-up that says like, oh, analyzed or customer churn prediction with Power BI. I helped so organization analyze their data to help them solve this prediction problem or something. You don't need to put that, but just talk about it. That's where talking comes into play, or writing comes into play. So you can write about it rather than share the numbers or the whatever. You just talk about whatever you did on that project rather than share those things. So you need to be very careful when you are sharing like projects that you've worked on, like for companies that are supposed to be private. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Ajayi Abigail, you can ask your question.
Sorry, I want to like my question is, it's not really a question, just a request that
Okay.
this session, is it being recorded, and how are we going to like have access to the recorded?
Okay, so the session is recorded and is going to be uploaded on the Data Community Africa YouTube channel. I'm going to share a link to Data First Africa YouTube channel on this place on the chat box. So what you can do is just subscribe and turn on your notification. So when it's uploaded, you are going to have access to that. So it's actually recorded.
Okay, thank you very much.
Any other question from anybody before we call it a day? Okay, Adekboju, Adewale. I think this is the last question I'm going to be taking.
Okay, thank you very much, Tina. My question is no, I don't know. I just want to make a request that is there a way you can maybe advise or maybe give some let me call it advice, like the route to go, because sometimes you can just be saying, okay, I'm learning this, I'm learning Excel, I'm learning Power BI, okay, after this I'll go to SQL and all those things. And you doing in the middle of you doing those things, you also be thinking of, okay, let me try and build up a resume, let me try and build up a portfolio. Like in there you can advise.
So I'll just mention something, right? And I'll use that to also wrap up the session. I'll use myself as a case study and what I did when I started out this career, right? So something I did when I started out my career, for me, it was going to be data analytics or data analytics. Like there was no other option for me. It was like a do or die. This thing must work, because I was somebody that tried out a lot of other things. I'm very sure that there might be a career path. There's no career path you mention now that I'll tell you that I've tried it now. I've tried doing this. I can list a lot, but I'm just going to leave that aside, right? So when I wanted to start this thing, it was like, this thing has to work, whether he likes it or not. So what I did was create a roadmap. And at the point I started, here's the thing, I wanted to be a data scientist, not a data analyst, right? So my roadmap was even for data science, right? So I created that roadmap and I told myself that in 6 months, I want to know everything I need to know to be able to apply for a job. So I'm telling you this so that you find a way to apply this to your own too. Now, when I started learning, immediately I finished, and as I was learning, something I was doing was I was building projects. And this is this. At the point when I started my career, there was this very vibrant data community where a lot of people were building dashboards, building visualizations, putting out there, and we had amazing industry leaders that were providing us with feedbacks, reviews, and everything. So when we post that dashboard, they put their comments, we go back, work on it, come back to post it again, and that was how I was able to get better, right? So I was building projects alongside this thing, and along the line I realized that, okay, maybe I don't even really like the coding aspects that much. I love data visualization, and I decided to stick with data visualizations, right? And I decided to become a data analyst. So I was building that project, and as I was building it, I was putting it out there. I was majorly focused on Python and Power BI. So what I would advise you is this: if you've started this journey, number one thing I want you to do is, after this session, bring out a piece of paper or your notepad or whatever it is. Write down a list of things that you need to do to become a data professional. If you want to be a data analyst, what are those things I need to do to become a data analyst? What are those things I need to learn to become a data scientist? What are those things I need to know to become a data engineer? There are videos online that would even help you, right? Like things like I'll share those videos anyways, maybe after the session. Please, somebody should remind me in our community channel or on social media. So those, if you make a list like that of the tools, something you can do is maybe look through job ads for data analysts, job ads for data scientists, and job ads for data engineer, right? Look through those ads, list out all these tools, right? What are the ones that are reoccurring in all these job ads? For data analysts, you would likely see Excel, one of Power BI or Tableau, SQL, and probably Python or R. But let's just focus on Excel, Power BI, and R, right? Now, you've listed these things. You can start from any one of these two. Let's say you want to start from Excel. Now, you pick up a course. All right, these things you're going to be writing them. I want to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL, right? Now, my Excel, if you, peradventure, you have learned Excel, now what you need to do, if you have learned Excel, it would lead you to the next step. Have I built a project on Excel? If you've not built any project with Excel, you want to go to the drawing board. Follow this route that I explained with building real world problems. Use that to get data, build a project in Excel, add it to your portfolio. You have gotten one project. Go to look to this thing again. Oh, I need to know how to use SQL. Have I done something relating to SQL? Go and look for data that you use and analyze. Come up with questions, right? and do that SQL query, do the code, put it to your GitHub or whatever portfolio you want to put it. That is project number 2. Now, project number 3, you want to go to your visualization to do something that you would use Power BI or this thing, and you put that on your portfolio. You have project number, now you have 3 solid projects on your portfolio. That is something you want to now which comes to my next step. When you are working on this project, I plead with you. I know we are all private persons and we are shy persons, but we are in the world of social media that just by what, like you can blow. Like your helper might be somebody on I'll tell you that every opportunity I've gotten since I started my career, I got them from people I don't know. I just met them on social media. They reached out to me in my DM. They're sending me messages. Oh, Tina, can you do this thing for me? Just by DM, community, networking. That is how I got it. So what I would advise you is when you work on those projects, put it online. Don't put it in your distance. Even if you get 1 like, even if you get 2 likes, even if nobody comments, keep doing it consistently. Just be doing. Before you know, you would get somebody will notice you and be, this person is always posting project, and they'll be interested in you. That is something you want to do. And you also want to learn to network properly. Most people are not making use of this thing. How do you network? If you see somebody that you know that this person can help my life, just be commenting on that. If the person posts anything, even if you don't have something, what I do, if I don't have anything to comment, I'll put emoji. You can never go wrong with emoji. Even if it's a thumbs up, even if like you're just wanting to, or you like, right? Or you like, by the time this person notices that this person is always coming up on my TL, click on your profile. Oh, he's even a data analyst and I have this opportunity. They are reaching out to you. I know this so well because it has worked a lot of times. After doing all these things that you also want to focus on is optimizing your LinkedIn profile, curating your resume together, right? Once you do all these things, you want to position them and put them together and talk about it. Oh, I just optimized my LinkedIn profile. You can check it out to tell me what you think. What do you think I can do better? Or, oh, I just created my resume. Please help me review my resume. Like you're putting it out there for people to see. People will be interested in you and you would always come at the top of their mind. So these are the things that you might want to do to actually help you with this thing. But being goal centric is very important. If you want to go far, put a goal. Don't move blindly, and it would help you stay true to your to whatever you want to achieve. It will help you stay consistent. That's the beauty of being goal, because by the time you check, it's remaining 1 month for me to reach that goal that I stated, you want to go back to that thing and keep doing it. So you need to be consistent. You need to be if you are hungry, like if you are very hungry for this thing, if you put in so much work, trust me, data and there are opportunities, and I'm not lying and I'm not capping on this call. I know people say it's data is a saturated field or something, but there are opportunities. And I'm not trying to act as a motivational speaker, but I'm just trying to tell you what I would have wanted to hear if I was at this call years ago, that just give it your all. That is what I'm just trying to give it your all. Be very, very hardworking, be dedicated, be very consistent, and trust me, you will see the feedback. I'm really, really hoping that in months to come, years to come, somebody will come online one day to say it was because of this call they were able to go back to their drawing board, tick all the list, and then today they are making money from data analytics, or they are making money from data. Okay, you can build a career out of this thing. You can build a career out of this thing. So please, if you are on the verge of giving up, let this be if you are looking for one person to remind you that you can still make it with this career, let me be that reminder for you that yes, there's hope in this career and then you can still make it. So please just go back to your drawing board, be very goal centric, list out the things you need to learn, how long you're going to learn them from, where you're going to learn it, what projects you're going to do, and trust me, the sky is your limits. Okay, so I'd like to appreciate everybody. I'm sorry at this point I can't take any more questions because I have another session very soon, but here's what's going to happen. Okay, I'll take maybe Adewale, I've answered your question, right? Okay, I saw Obianuju's hand up. I don't know if
Sure. In fact, you did more than answering.
Yeah.
Okay, Obianuju, please go ahead with your question.
Okay, please, I just wanted to know, how do we get the link to the community you talked about?
Okay, so it's going to be very public soon. I'll be sharing it on my social media profile. So I'll share it on Twitter and on LinkedIn. Once it's public, I would let you know, because it's actually not public now. So I'll share, once it's public, I'm going to share it on my social media profile. But one thing I want you to do is follow, everybody should follow Data First Africa. So you definitely see it on Data First Africa page. Please, if you're not following Data First Africa on LinkedIn, it's just they just type Data First Africa on Twitter or on LinkedIn, is going to come out. So follow Data First Africa and it's going to this thing. By the way, Data First Africa is coming very soon, and I'm hoping that a lot of us will be able to make it to there. When the ticket is out, it's also going to be uploaded on the social media profile. So you want to check that out. So I'm going to end the session here by saying thank you to everybody who sticked around. Well, 60 persons on the call. That's a lot of persons. I hope that you've been able to gain one or two. I'll definitely let everyone know when the session is up. By the way, shout out to my assistant community lead, Toby. Toby's on this call. Toby, thank you for sticking around. Shout out to all the community persons for Data First Africa for giving us this opportunity to actually share this experience and also help other persons. Okay, so we'll be sharing the once it's out before the end of the week. You're going to get all the links and everything. I'm going to be sharing all of the resources, the slides and everything. You'll get access to that. Do enjoy your day, and if you have any other questions, please reach out to me on the TL is at Rita_Tina on Twitter and Tina Okonkwo on LinkedIn, and I'll do well to answer your questions. Do have a lovely day. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.